Today we're doing a mid-year wrap-up of everything that I've read as a very slow reader in 2026. Welcome back to Mostly Vanity. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mostly Vanity. My name's Kennedy, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is my show about books and story and whatever else I want to talk about because, well, it's mostly vanity. I'm so excited to have you guys join me today to talk about everything I've read in 2026. I'm a little bit late to the party. This is going to come out end of July, beginning of August. So we're already in, end of the month 7, going into month 8. I am a very slow reader. I thought I was a really fast reader as a kid, but it turns out I just didn't read everything. I was a little bit of a skimmer. And I was like, I keep picking up things when I read it differently. It's like, well, if you read every word, maybe you would catch it all, right? I don't know. I loved reading as a kid, and I wanted to get the story in me. I wanted to get the story, and that's just kind of what I was drawn to. So, but I am fairly slow reader. I've also had a bit of a reading slump, and so that's been kind of difficult for me. And so, it's been 7 months, and I've read 7 books. For somebody my age, that's a lot more than a lot of other people. It's just, when you're on BookTube, you see all these people that read, 100 and something books a year, and I don't see how you physically do that and do anything else. But I really love story. I love experiencing new things and new genres. It's been a blast, and I've really been drawn to fantasy the last year or so. Again, I'm writing a fantasy novel right now. But yeah, there's a variety in here. It's mostly sci-fi fantasy. I'm looking at my stack over here in the corner. I'm going to try to go in order, and I'll give you kind of a summary of the book and what goes on, and then my opinions of it. I won't get in spoiler territory. If I ever do reviews of these books, I might do spoiler territory. If I run out of ideas and I'm like, I want to talk about this book, and then I do that for Mostly Vanity, so who knows? All right, I think let's start. So the first book I read this year is a book I read for a book club, and it was a little bit of a hard read for me because it's a little bit an older science fiction book, but I did fairly enjoy it nonetheless, by a very legendary writer, that is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. And speaking of darkness, look at my face. Might have to hold him over here. Left Hand of Darkness. I did really enjoy this book. This is in Ursula K. Le Guin's, it's not really a series, but it's in the same, I guess, universe. Is that basically all these planets that have different forms of life, and usually they send somebody to check it out, see, hey, do we think they're ready to join the Galactic Society or whatever. And this book is about basically this human ambassador that's sent to this planet called Winter, and it's very it's a very innovative book for the time. It's very these creatures don't really have gender, right? They don't really conform to that. And for, I think it's 1969, this is a very interesting book. Again, the story overall was good. I did enjoy it at times. It sounds like I didn't enjoy it. I would say the prose for me is not my favorite. I appreciate her as a writer. One of my favorite parts of this book is the author's note, where she talks about what science, the nature of science fiction and what a novel is, and really dives into what it is to be a writer. and I really enjoyed that. And so I may enjoy, like, I also read one of her short stories recently. I like her writing, but a lot of times when I come to books, I've recently realized that I'm very connected to character arcs, and this is like, it does have characters, but it doesn't get super deep into the characters. It's more so of like the, dealing with the differences that they have, which is great to explore. So I did enjoy it. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's not like, I'm not like, oh, it's a bad book, but I'm just not like, it doesn't make me excited, that makes me mention, for my ranking system, I'm a little bit weird. It's very vibes based, but I think the best way I can describe it is I ask the question, will I ever want to reread this book? And 3 stars are like maybes. 4 stars are like, definitely, like, I would definitely come back to this. This is a great book. I really enjoyed it. 3 is like, okay, this is good. I can appreciate it. Maybe it's not for me. 5 stars blow me out of the water. I think about it all the time. And then you get to 2 stars. 1 star is like, I don't really love this, right? Most of the books I've read so far are fairly good. There's one that falls below the threshold, and we'll get to that one. The second book I read, or finished, I guess, is this book, which is The Spear That Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This is a very weird book. Very different. It's technically a fantasy. It's an epic fantasy. And it's really hard to explain. Because there's like second person in this book. Like, it speaks as, you are watching whatever. And it's very interesting how it uses that. It flips back and forth from, like, I think it's second and third person. But it's very weird, but it was very satisfying for me. I will say I was very satisfied with this book. It took me a little bit to get through it because it's kind of weird. Because literally one of the characters is watching the story as if it's on a play, like on a stage, which is a very interesting idea. It took me a minute to figure out that that's what was happening. But very, like when people say this book is unique, it really is. It's a very, I got to figure out where I'm going to hold these books. A very unique book, a really cool cover too. And I didn't really understand the cover until the end of the book. But really, really cool. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend it. It's worth trying. It's not going to be for everybody. But for what it is, it's distinct. And anything I find that's distinct, I'm like, wow, this is like, to be really, what I would say is genuinely unique. It is something worth note, right? So yeah, really enjoyed that book. So, next book I have is kind of a classic. It's not something I actually read in school. I know a lot of people do. Which, again, this doesn't feel like a book you read in high school, but a lot of people do. And it is Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. I've been liking the smaller books, like Ursula K. Le Guin's is like 300 pages. I've got a lot of other shorter books over here. I like my short books. I write short books. I read short books. I like short books. Slaughterhouse-Five. Not at all what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. This is also a very hard book to describe, and I'm not even going to try to describe it. It's very like centered around like time and space and war and what war does to you and how you handle war. One of the famous phrase, I don't know why I'm still holding this book. One of the more popular phrases from this book that it says so much is the phrase, "so it goes." It's kind of like the tagline for this book is, and then they all died, or this is how it is, and so it goes. I mean, I bet you, see, we're literally right there. So it goes. It's like every page has it. It's crazy. I did enjoy it, but again, it didn't really light me up like a lot of other books did. And so I did give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Just for me, I appreciate it, and I appreciate what it's trying to do. But in terms of my enjoyment or how excited I would be to come back to it, it's kind of a neutral. So that's kind of why I put it at a 3. Okay, what else do we have? Ooh, here we go. All right, and now we're about to talk about a book I didn't like. I did this for a book club as well with the Talking Story Book Club, and I don't think I was the only one who felt like I didn't like this book. That is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And one thing I've noticed about this author is anytime I pick up one of this author's books and then look at the back of it, it feels like the same story. It's all about mental health, and and this is kind of similar to that. It's kind of It's a Wonderful Life sort of story that tries to be. I think it falls on its face. I think the way it describes depression is not great. It's not and it's not that it's like, oh, it's so depressing. It's that I feel like the descriptions of depression here are bad. They're like the fog that somebody would have who is in a deep depression. And it makes me wonder, is he okay? Or is he he just got through a really dark depression and then he wrote this as I don't know. The ending didn't satisfy me. Again, It's a Wonderful Life, but not great. The characters I didn't like. There's a lot I didn't like about this book. I almost gave it 1 star, but I gave it 2 stars. It's probably closer to 1.5. I don't really do the half-star thing, but I did not love this book. A lot of people love it. I don't. So, sorry. All right. Next book that I read, as a little bit of a read-along, also because Jacob from Talking Story was reading this at the time. And so I bought it and read it along with him, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. It's a heck of a name. I love that. This is a very interesting story. Basically, it's the story about a pandemic. Never thought I'd want to read a novel like that. This was written in 2014, I think. So it was before the pandemic, I think. I don't actually know what year this book came out. I want to say it's 2014 because I specifically looked. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, copyright 2014. So I guess that means it came out in 2014. Very interesting cover. I didn't really get the cover. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But such a great story. This book is so cinematic. Again, it's through the eyes of a lot of different people, but you really care about all of those people, and they're all unique, and then a lot of them come together, and it's 20 years after this whole pandemic thing started, and the people are kind of spread out. That's kind of all I'm going to get into with that book, because that's just I think that's the kind of book you should go into blind. A lot of Emily St. John Mandel's books I've heard is like that you should just go into it blind. And that one I did, and I had a great time with it. It's really great, really satisfying. I recommend it. 4 out of 5 stars. That one is probably one of my more favorite reads of the year so far. So it's not quite a 5-star for me, but it's pushing it. It's that good. All right. This is a trilogy that I took a break from after the second book because the second book fatigued me. And I've already done a review of this book actually on this channel if you want to go check it out. And that is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. the conclusion of the first Mistborn trilogy. Overall, really enjoyed it. Really solid book. I think Brandon lands the plane. I have my problems with it, but I understand why he did what he did. Yeah, I really enjoy this book. One of the things I really loved in this book, which I talked about in my review, is, I don't think I'm not going to get too spoilery with this, but I really like exploring Spook's character. I really liked seeing him have more of an arc rather than just being a background character. I really enjoyed his story. That was really the highlight for me. That and Sazed, obviously. I love Sazed's arc, and I love everything that I've seen from Sazed. So, yeah, I'd put 4 out of 5 stars for it as well. Spoiler for the the review. I did do reviews for all 3 of the Mistborn books, so if you want to go check that out on Previously Mostly Vanities, it'll be in the playlist or on my channel, however you want to access that. And the last book I read is actually one of 2 novellas in this book that I have for the series called Monk and Robot by Becky Chambers. I read the first book, which is a Psalm for the Wild Built. Really, really cozy read. I needed a bit of a palate cleanser, and it was really great. And it was short too. I mean, this entire book, which is both novellas, was like 200 or almost 300 pages. It was like 150 pages per novella. I really enjoyed it, honestly. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's very cozy. It's, a person trying to find their way and find out who they are and why they are, and the world is very interesting, and I really enjoyed it. It's just one of those things that you should pick up the Monk and Robot combination book and just read one of them in between the books you're reading, because they're worth it and it's good. I really enjoyed my time with that. Let's see. What did I give that? 4 out of 5 stars is what I gave that for a rating. So, good year so far. I have 4 stars. Is that right? 4 stars? Yeah, 4 stars, 2 3 stars, and a 2 star. So, I mean, overall, I'm trending up in terms of the books I've been reading. I've really been enjoying my reading journey, but again, the last couple months I've been in kind of a reading slump. Hopefully, Solve for the Well Built kind of cleared the palate a little bit and made it to where I can read more. I'm very much a mood reader, to be honest, and I just kind of go with the flow, and I buy the books that interest me, and then I go with it. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for listening to me ramble about books. I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys have been reading, how your year's wrapped up. What was your best read of the year? What was your worst read of the year? Have you read any of these books that I listed here? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys next time.